Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to Topic Time with Harrison Young. It is an absolutely beautiful afternoon out. Late September now, more than halfway through the month. Fall is just 2 days away. We got an awesome show here tonight to kind of like ring it in. But before we get to the awesome guest, beautiful musician here, as you can see, got to read these underwriters, and then we will proceed officially with the show. So we got Modern Auto Body in Brockton. We got Smoke and Ashes Tobacco Company in Abington, and they also have stores at convenient locations in Abington, Whitman, Weymouth, Hanson, and Pembroke. We got John's Greenhouses and Florist Shop in Brockton. We got Clothes Clinic Dry Cleaning in Whitman, where Topic Time fans get 10% off. We got Pro Tint Window Tinting in Abington. We got T. Martini and Son Floor Covering in Abington. We got Chapin Sheds in Whitman. And we got Rivers Auto and Used Car Dealer in Abington. And I want to thank you guys very much, and now we will start the show officially. Here we go. Okay, again, good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to Topic Time with Harrison Young. So as you can see, feast your eyes on this wonder right here. This is Linda Marks. She's an amazing musician in the Boston area. She makes music to heal people. As you can see, after lugging this beautiful keyboard up the stairs, she's going to have to heal us because we're a little bit bone brittle. Only kidding. Great job, Linda. Nice to have you on Topic Time. Thanks for coming in and being on
Thank
the show.
you. It's a pleasure to be here, Harrison.
Pleasure to have you here. So we're going to interview her tonight, and then she's going to play some original songs that she wrote, and she's written quite a few. But like I do with all my guests, I like to find out what they're about. So Linda, tell me about your history as a little girl growing up, and how you became an incredible pianist and singer and whatever else.
Well, when I was a little girl, music was actually my first language.
Cool.
I didn't talk till I was 3, but
So
as
you
a
basically
toddler,
sang before you talked.
I sang before I talked, absolutely.
Wow.
And pianos drew me like magnets, so anytime there was a piano, I'd go and I'd start writing music, even when I was like 18 months old.
Talking about writing and not just playing it.
No, I would
Wow.
just start writing.
So how did you learn did you just do this before you even could read notes?
I'm the intuitive kind of musician. There's sort of the intellectual and the intuitive. I was the intuitive from the very beginning. Yeah.
Just like this woman, Jackie Seymour, that I interviewed a few years ago. I don't know if you know her, but
I don't.
She does not know how to read notes, but we did an in-home interview out in the town of Spencer, Mass, back in late 2013, and she is an incredible pianist and a model too, and I knew you could be as well. But this is your passion.
Yes.
All right. Well, where did you grow up?
I grew up literally on the Brookline-Brighton line. I was 1.5 houses down from the Brighton line.
Okay, so you were in Brookline.
I was just barely in Brookline.
Okay,
yes.
Just barely in Brookline. Okay, that's not you were on the right side anyway. You were on the richer side.
There wasn't that much difference on my street.
Well, I know, because
yeah.
that's the area, like between Medford and Winchester. I know, that kind of thing. And
yeah.
It's one end or the other, but the closer you get, the more likely the other side is. But that's cool. Yeah, you had a nice, cultural area that you grew up in, because that area is well known for its culture and theater and whatnot. And so you were writing music at 18 months, or how old? Is that how old you were?
I was a toddler. I was toddling to pianos and starting to figure stuff out.
Well, when you were doing this, I assume that the people that were in charge of raising you were pretty impressed.
No.
Why not?
Because my father's motto was music is a waste of a good mind. He was actually horrified that I had so much musical passion, and he did almost everything he could to keep it from happening.
Wow.
So I actually, when I was 3 years old, because my mom noticed how much it mattered to me, she put me in an experimental recorder program at the Laundry School of Music. And
where's that?
That is in Cambridge, actually.
Okay.
And the people there said I was gifted and talented, even though I had very little interest in recorder. And then basically any free program I did, I had a free Suzuki violin program in the school system when I was in 3rd grade. I became the girl drummer in grammar school, and I taught myself how to play the drums.
Girl drummer, like Karen Carpenter.
Like Karen Carpenter, exactly.
Karen Carpenter,
yeah, when I was a little girl, she was actually one of the people I listened to. And I bought my own guitar with my own money I earned when I was 11 years old, and I got it. Doing what? Shoveling snow.
Oh, okay, just doing
cutting
odd
lawns,
jobs. Yep.
odd jobs, whatever a kid could do. And
Yep.
it didn't matter that I was a girl. I wanted to be able to earn the money and get myself
You know
ultimately a
what you
piano.
wanted, and you know how to get it.
So, and I was willing to work for it.
Exactly.
So I bought a guitar when I was 11, and I bought chord charts. So I started teaching myself chords. And then when I was 13, I'd saved up enough money to buy my own piano. And I walked into the living room, and I used the Yellow Pages back then. And because Roadrunner always got everything from the Acme company, when I went to the Yellow Pages and there was an Acme piano company, that's where I was going to get my piano. So I called them up. I found a Rika & Sons upright that cost exactly what I had. So I walked downstairs. I said, I've earned the money. I found the piano. I'm a kid. Please drive me to the store and give me somewhere to put it. And my father put it on the one-season porch that was cold except in the summer. But at least it was there, and I was only allowed to play it when no one was home.
No one was home. Boy, that's pretty chintzy.
Well, it's what was, but I
know.
did it. And actually, my 2020 album, which is called The Piano, I wrote my title song, The Piano, was written about the story of the little girl who just wanted to play the piano.
Well, you know what? Before we continue, do you have that song memorized?
That isn't one of the ones I was planning to do, because...
well, if you want to do it, you can do it. It sounds like it would be fitting for the moment, but it's totally your call.
I'd rather actually do the ones I prepared.
Okay, that's fine.
Yeah.
Okay.
So
keep talking. Let's talk
okay.
about it.
So then it actually ties into the next song, because when
Okay.
I was a little girl, I loved the Red Sox.
Okay, you still do, I reckon.
Still do, and I managed, again, to earn money doing whatever I could do, and I'd get the MBTA and take it down to Boston, even at 12 or 13 years old, and buy a bleachers ticket and sit in the bleachers to watch the game.
Okay.
And when I was 14 years old, I got my working papers, and I really wanted to work there. So I talked to one of the security guards
Doing
at
what?
Fenway.
You like ushering?
Well, what they let girls do in those days was sell souvenirs at minimum wage behind a stand. So I actually walked into the concession company. They were being accused of nepotism. They needed someone who wasn't from Revere or Hyde Park, who was female, and in walks me.
Wow.
So I got a job, right place at the right time, and I worked at a souvenir stand in Fenway Park when I was in high school.
That is incredible.
So I have a long-standing love of the Red Sox, and when David...
Well, quick question.
Yeah.
When you were doing that, I assume you got to see the game, a lot of the games.
Not really. I wasn't allowed to see much of the
Well,
game.
that's what I was thinking. It sounded to me like you were under the bleachers. You really couldn't see anything.
No, if I had a break, I'd walk out and see, but the people I work for didn't want me out of my stand too often.
Yeah, that's what it sounds a little like. Why would you? What's the point of doing that if you can't get you don't get the? Yeah, I mean, if you like the team so much, you'd have been better off watching them on TV. But you just like the atmosphere.
There's a lot of energy in Fenway Park, and before the game, the players would walk through underground, and so I'd get to talk with the players.
Oh, you did? Okay,
yeah,
that's fun.
So it was really fun to be there.
All right, now you just mentioned you did a song to Big Papi, a tribute to Big Papi. So, want to talk about it?
Absolutely.
Okay.
So when David Ortiz was shot, which was on June 9th,
Yes,
I was pretty devastated, like
we
many
all
other
were.
people were. It was pretty horrific. And when my son, who's now 23, was in high school, one time when we'd gone to the game, there was a meet and greet with the players on the field.
Right.
And Big Papi really impressed me because he didn't want to disappoint any of the kids who'd come to see him, even though the security guards were saying, it's time to go, come on, move it along.
Right.
He said, no, I don't want to disappoint one kid. So I noticed how much he really cared about making contact with the kids. And when the marathon bombing happened, he was literally the heart of Boston, the heart of Boston strong.
Right.
So in many ways, to me, he was like a modern day JFK, MLK in terms of his leadership way beyond baseball.
Right.
So when he was shot, it made me think back to the other people who were shot. And I asked the question, why do we shoot our heroes? And that led to this song called Heroes, which is a tribute to David Ortiz.
Okay, well, without further ado, play it and sing it.
Okay.
Here we go, Linda Marks.
Heroes, we need heroes to lift ourselves up, to show us what's possible. Heroes, offer us hope Light shine too bright in the darkness. By holding them up, do we put ourselves down? People need inspiration. It takes heroes to fan the flame. But evil can lurk in the shadows. What do we think is to blame? Martin, Robert, and John colored my childhood, serving the greater good. Now David, Big Papi to most, he's a good man. I just can't understand. Why do we shoot our heroes just when they're in their prime? Do their accomplishments make them a target for the guns and the hitman of organized crime? What does this teach our children? How does this shape our lives? Real leaders bring courage and vision, traits that we need to survive. May our spirits rise. Can we turn the tides? The undertow is strong. May it not pull us down. How can we stop the shooting? Jail doesn't stop the crime. Can love find a way to end hatred? Will I see change in our time? Why do we shoot our heroes?
Wow. All right. Yeah, that definitely sends a strong message.
It does.
Yes.
It absolutely does.
Wow. Well, you didn't mention Big Papi in the song, but
I actually did.
I didn't hear. Okay. I'm
David, Big Papi to most.
Okay.
He was a good man. I don't understand
Oh,
why
okay.
he was shot.
sorry. Okay. No, it sounded like the keyboard music was louder than the voice. That's why. But that's okay. I mean,
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
But
A really funny thing is that Kirk Minahan, who used to be on WEEI,
Yeah.
he got a hold of the song and thought it was something to play, and he's sort of like the Howard Stern of radio, so he was doing his thing to it, but it became very popular with his listeners.
Okay.
And they played it over and over again, and a lot
What,
of
on
people...
EEI?
He's now on Barstool Sports, which is a blog,
Okay.
a podcast,
Yeah, I
actually.
know.
So anyhow, it was interesting. He caught a hold of that song. And Bob Holler for the Boston Globe wrote an article that was on the front page of the sports section at the end of July in the Boston Globe.
Wow. About the song.
About the song,
Okay.
absolutely.
So you're rolling with it. That's awesome.
Yeah.
Now we just now hopefully Big Papi will hear it.
I hope he does.
Yeah.
And the good news is he's on the mend.
Yeah,
Thank
I know.
goodness.
He's doing
Finally on the mend. It was,
Showing, he threw out the first pitch the other day.
actually, it was September 9th, the 3-month anniversary
Yeah,
of
that's
when
right.
he was shot, is
So-
when he showed up at Fenway Park.
That was 10 days ago then.
Yeah.
Right. Oh, that's right. It's hard to believe it's been 10 days since that.
Yeah.
No, I know. I mean, he definitely he's blessed. I mean, this could have turned out a lot worse than it did.
Absolutely.
And-
Absolutely.
And praise you for making the tribute.
Absolutely.
I always say everything happens for a reason. As awful as it was that he got shot, if something good comes out of it, then it was worth it.
Well, knowing David, because he's got a gigantic heart,
Right.
he's going to do good with it. He's
Of
the
course
kind
he
of
is.
person, his whole life has been devoted to helping kids and helping the community and helping people. And now after this experience, I think even more amazing things are going to come from him.
I agree. All right, what do you got here? Another song?
This is, yes. My mom.
Gardener?
My mom died from Alzheimer's.
Oh, sorry.
And one of the things that I learned is that even as a person fades away, the core still remains. So
Right.
this is her story
Okay.
in the song
Called The Gardener.
called The Gardener.
All right, go for it.
It's been 5 years. It's been 5 years since you died today, though it feels timeless. Your life light dims slowly over time. It broke my heart to see you fade as the villain stole your mind. Your lifelong love of gardening stayed. Whoops, I'm sorry, I can't say. I'll come back in. I'm going to do it from the top so I can see it. It's been 5 years since you died today, though it feels timeless. Your lifelight dims slowly over time. It broke my heart to see you fade as the villain stole your mind. Your lifelong love of gardening stayed behind. The quiet lady gardening in her mind. You couldn't risk the poverty of your childhood, but the price you paid for marriage was quite high. Every time he yelled at you, did he take a piece of your mind? Gardening was the refuge you could find. The quiet lady gardening in her mind. When he screamed at you, when he screamed at me, did something die inside? When he put you down, when he ordered you around, at least new life could grow from your seeds. I tried my best to care for you when his time came. I prayed you'd have true freedom at long last. As lifelong memories fade away, who's the mother, who's the child? Inside the shell, your spirit still was kind. The quiet lady gardening in her mind. For many years you'd work the soil in your garden. As your memory left, you'd garden on the lawn. When you broke your hip as you healed somehow, you'd creep down to the floor. You'd move your hands to see what stones you'd find. The lawn, the rug, the floor were what you mind. The quiet lady gardening in her mind. As night merged with day, as time went away, your instinct still survived. When you moved your hands, did you understand? At least new life could grow from your seeds. If I ever see a flower in the heavens, I think I know to take it as a sign. You're sifting stones, you're sorting twigs, and planting seeds divine. The quiet lady gardening in her mind. The quiet lady gardening in her mind.
Awesome. Wow. What a tribute.
Thank you.
Yeah. That was, she liked the garden, huh?
It was amazing. I was absolutely amazed how that was the one part of her that just always was there. And even with the broken hip, would manage to get herself onto the floor in the rehab and start doing the gardening motion on the floor.
Okay.
It was
she
so
had,
deeply
she had quite
rooted.
the green thumb, I assume.
She did.
Wow.
That was her sanctuary.
Okay. Yeah, that's great. I mean,
Absolutely.
the world needs planters, and she was one.
She absolutely was one.
Wow. Okay. Well, I'm sorry about, but at least that was, another great tribute.
Thank you.
Okay, so you're pretty good at tributes. That seems to be a
I
thing.
do, actually, yeah. I mean, people touch me. And
Right.
also what happens to people touch me. And to speak to what happens to people also touches other people, because
right.
what happens to us is a common human experience, whether it's Alzheimer's, whether it's gun violence right now.
Right.
So
Obviously. And what you got here? This is called the Lion.
it's called The Lion. So this is another kind of tribute. I had a friend who had quite an extraordinary life, who was incredibly successful, worked with the President of the United States, had a
Okay.
lovely family, until everything fell down the sinkhole of alcoholism.
Just curious, what president? You don't have to name the person. I'm just wondering if you don't mind.
Gerald Ford.
Wow, that was okay.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I guess you were in high school then.
I have to think back to when it was, but I was
Well,
pretty,
he was in office from '74 to '76.
oh gosh, yeah, I was a kid, yeah.
I was in high
Yeah.
school too.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
I think you're a year ahead of me in high school. I did my research. So.
Uh-huh, okay,
Yep. So.
yeah.
Wow. Okay. Well, that's fine. You don't have to name the person if you don't want to. It's up to you.
No,
but-
I don't, for their confidentiality. I would never name the person, but I wrote the song
Okay.
to help his spirit, basically to support the strength of his spirit in the journey.
Okay. Let's hear it.
Yes.
The Lion.
Orange roses and a prayer, a courageous, resilient heart, the strength of a lion, yet with a gentle hand, the words of a poet, the colors of the soul emerging from a battle bravely fought, breaking shackles, moving forward across time. War can make you weary or leave you all alone. Silent tears, angry growls haunt your days. Soar, touch the sky. May your dreams come to life. Magic angel, paint your joy. Sing your song, shine your light, take your due, magic angel. They tried to tame the lion and keep him behind bars when the wildness of the world ate his soul. A new human jungle, quite foreign all around, was hard to find the bearings to build a life, paying too dearly for missteps and mistakes, a nightmare emerging like a wave. Brave lion, special spirit, taking matters in his hands, seeking justice, seeking freedom, seeking peace. Soar, touch the sky. May your dreams come to life. Magic your spirit can prevail. Soar, touch the sky. May your dreams come to life. Magic angel, paint your joy. Sing your song, shine your light, take your due, magic angel. Magic angel, magic angel. Orange roses.
Wow, that was sweet. Very nice.
Thank you.
Actually, believe it or not, we're down under 5 minutes of the show. We made that go
It
by.
goes very fast.
But that was great. 3 great songs of the Linda Marks originals. So what I want you to do in the remaining time is to give shouts out to people that are going to see the show, because a lot of people are, and then we'll wrap it up. You
Okay.
can start with Cope if you want.
Certainly. Well, thank you to Billy Copeland. He's a wonderful supporter of the music community in the New England area and
Thanks, Cope.
beyond. So thank you.
Cope.
And actually, he did a wonderful review of my New and Grace album, which I've given to you, Harrison.
Yep, I got it right here.
Yep. And the album's there too if you want to just hold it up so people can see it. This was released on September 1st, and my big album release show is October 13th at the Burren with full band, 9 other people playing with me and someone doing vocal harmony, and 3 at home open. So I'm really looking forward to that. So huge thanks to Billy Copeland for the review and for everything he does for the music scene.
Give my best to Tommy Bianchi when you see him.
Oh, absolutely. Tom does a ton for the Boston music scene. He's fantastic.
I know, I did a show at the Burren once. It was great.
Yeah, he's
Full in
wonderful.
the atmosphere, too.
Absolutely. The whole atmosphere is really alive and energetic.
Well, I hope you have fun with me tonight.
Oh, absolutely.
You know, someone like you who's got so much talent, I try to just spread mine as thin as possible. Okay. Well, great job, Linda Marks. Thank you for being on Topic Time tonight. And if you want to do the snapping with me when we wrap it up, then certainly may.
I'll try. This hand is injured,
That's right.
unfortunately. So,
Well, you can bob your head. You don't have to do
I
anything.
can snap with one hand.
Okay.
Okay.
All right, folks. Thanks for watching Topic Time. More great episodes to follow. See you next time. See you later. Thanks again. Bye. One hand wonder.